I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing while we mention those who have passed since the last meeting. Donna Coombs, Richard Milligan, Rosemary Morgan, Ron Irwin, roll call. Mike?
Here.
Paul?
Here.
Cassie?
Here.
And Bill Brown's on Zoom.
Bill Brown is on Zoom.
I'm here via speakerphone.
Okay, he's going to be participating in this meeting in accordance with our local law, which we passed last year, which allows him to participate if we find that he has justifiable reason to be absent, which of course he does in this instance, and he'll be participating under that local law.
Thank you, Bill and Bill. Fire exits are directly behind me here. Fire escape is the only place that will be going out if there's a problem in the building. Correspondence, I don't believe there is any, correct? Attorney concerns?
None that we haven't already discussed.
And petitioners at this time of the meeting, we allow that for people to come up, state their name and their concerns, and we have a time frame that we'll impose also, which is about 3 minutes. And
Well,
we can start now.
Letter Distal, resident Town of Wawarsing. I haven't been here in 3 months. Well, I haven't seen any action on the things that I've requested. Back in late November, I gave a package to all the board members, remember? About these grants that we're having problems with, or the board is having problems with establishing. And I even left a number there for you can call and verify what was going on. Did anybody call Albany and find out what happened to these grants?
You have to specifically state what you're talking about.
Well, that's good. You should know. You were on the board with me as
You're 10 feet away from me. I don't know what you're talking about.
What's that?
I don't know. You're the one that has the paperwork.
You were given a package, Terry. You were given a package with
Please
your
just
supervisor.
explain what your concerns are.
Concern is that you never processed a $100,000 grant. It's been 6 years.
For what?
What are you?
Do you have a problem? Tell me what the grant is.
The grant is for a water project, cameras, poles, and lighting at the water filtration plant, and also for Littman Park, for public safety.
Jackie, there's a
And you
grant.
must forget a lot because you were a councilman, Terry, I'm talking,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
You were a councilman with me as I was a supervisor of town board. I wrote the application.
Good.
Matter of fact, there was 2 of them.
Good.
And you blocked the electric charging station on the other grant. You voted no on the other one for the generator and the upgrade of the electrical system. You act like you don't know what's going on.
There's 5 people on the town board every year.
No, they weren't on the town board.
I said there's
You're the only one
5
left.
people on the town board every year. And things,
I know that.
okay, so.
These people have nothing to do with
If you
this.
want to drop off that to the town clerk, just
I don't
give it
have
to
to
her.
drop off anything. You all were given packages, right, Paul?
Well, then don't.
Don't say you didn't get it, because you did.
I'm kind of curious as to what you're asking about as far as the lights and the
Your
security of the
supervisor
park.
has never processed a $100,000 grant. 6 years, I called Albany.
I believe we used grant money to buy the
No,
cameras.
Nothing to do with that. There's a
Mr.
$100,000
Bissell,
grant.
he's explaining what the money was used for.
I'm just not talking about what you've been doing. I'm talking about the grant that was never processed by the supervisor.
Well,
Okay?
it has to be proven, okay? So prove it.
Why don't you call Albany once in a while? Maybe we find out what's
I think-
going on, Terry.
I
Don't
think-
be so stupid.
Oh,
The other thing-
Time's up.
Time's up.
Time's up.
Time's up. We're not gonna take this, okay?
Have a seat.
Fine.
Just have a
Look
seat.
into it, will you?
Yes.
You're supposed to be the
Have a seat,
supervisor,
please.
but you're not doing what
Anybody
you're
else
supposed
that's a
to do.
petitioner wants to come up and have a conversation respectfully, please do.
Very respectful.
No petitioners?
Anybody on the Zoom or in the audience?
feel free to come up, state your name, have a conversation with the town board, and we'll try to respond in the most respectful manner.
No one.
Okay? All right. All right, what time is it? It's 5 after, huh? So we can do the first resolution?
Yep.
The Wawarsing Town Board, by resolution, authorizes overruling certain required modifications of the Ulster County Planning Board for proposed rezoning recitals, map amendments in the matter of the petition application of Somerset Catskill Holding LLC for the redevelopment of the former Neville Resort. Do I have a motion?
I will make it.
Paul makes that motion, and Mike seconds. It's a resolution, so it's a roll call vote. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
Bill? Mr.
Aye.
Boyd? And I vote aye. So that's 5 votes in favor. The motion carries unanimously. A second resolution is the town board by resolution adopts local law of 2023 enacting certain amendments to Chapter 12 zoning, the code of the Town of Wawarsing to make revisions that update and supplement planned unit districts.
I'll move it.
I moved it.
Cassie made the motion, Bill Brown seconds it. It's a roll call vote. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
And Bill Brown?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So that's a second resolution, unanimous. The town board by resolution approves to rescind a previous resolution adopted February 16th, 2023 for additional bonding in the amount of $2 million for the new highway garage.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes that motion and Paul seconds. It's a roll call vote. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
Bill Brown?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That motion's carried. The fourth resolution, the Town of Wawarsing Town Board by resolution approves to proceed with the project of the construction of a new highway garage and reconstruction of the existing highway garage with additional bonding by the Town Board of the,
Without.
without additional bonding by the Town Board of the Town of Wawarsing.
So moved.
Second.
That's, Mike makes the motion and Cassie seconds it. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Aye.
And Bill Brown?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Town board to approve, there's no budget amounts, correct?
No vote motion.
So town board to approve the bills as ordered. We have 3 signatures today.
Yes.
So, motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
Cassie makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion is carried. Town board to accept the minutes of the March 2nd regular audit meeting, the March 8th budget workshop meeting, the March 16th regular audit meeting, the March 27th workshop meeting. So that's 3 through 6.
Make a motion, move 3 through 6.
Mike makes the motion.
Second.
Bill Brown makes the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Terry.
Motions 3 through 6 are passed.
Number 6, since I was not present, I'd like to abstain.
Okay, so we have an abstention. Jackie? So it's 4 with an abstention. Number 7, town board to approve Hope Alive 845 to sponsor an event at Lebanon Park on August 19th. The rain date will be August 26th.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes the motion. Cassie seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion is carried. Anybody want to talk about that for a second? So 845, that's the...
Finding missing children and adults.
Yes, finding missing children and adults. It's a group out of Monticello, Sullivan County, that is having a motorcycle ride from, is it Middletown to?
Middletown.
And it's going to end up at Lebanon Park. So that's something to be supportive of. Number 8, town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the grant closeout documents for CDBG 1215 PR 100-18, Mappinock Sewer Project Phase 6.
I'll make it.
So moved.
Paul makes a motion, Bill Brown seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Aye.
Number 9, town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise and send lawful notices to those entities entitled to notice for a public hearing on April 20th, 2023 at 7:05 at Town Hall to receive input from the public regarding the local law of 2023, amending Chapter 99, Article 4, taxation of the Code of the Town of Wawarsing to provide volunteer firefighter and volunteer ambulance service worker partial tax exemption.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion's carried. And thank you to firemen right there, Mike and Paul, right? Number 10, town board to approve payment application number 7 in the amount of $72,785.48. Amity Construction Corps for the Wawarsing Water District Individual Service Connections, Local Roads, WWD Bid 11.
I move it.
Cassie makes that motion. Bill Brown seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Motion's carried. Number 11, town board to approve the invoice from H. Elsterhout Excavating, Inc. in the amount of $8,288.05 for the emergency water repair on Maple Avenue, Kerhonkson, on March 13, 2023. Funds will be taken
So
from...
moved.
Bill, you would have said that even if you were sitting here, I think. But let me finish it. Funds will be taken from the Kerhonkson Water Reserve Funds and is subject to permissive referendum.
I'll
Number
second
11.
his first.
So Bill makes a motion, Cassie seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. Number 12, town board to approve the purchase of Flowmatic shutoff valve in the amount of $3,320.24 from Schmitz Wholesale, Inc. for the Napanock Water District.
I'll move that.
Second.
Cassie makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. 13, town board to approve the refund of the building permit in the amount of $50.80 to Karen Elsterhout for 23 Wiley Street, Napanock. This is per the recommendation of the building department in a letter dated March 31st, 2023.
Move.
Second.
Cassie makes the motion. Cassie makes a motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Number 14, town board to approve the release of the remaining money that is being held in the escrow in the amount of $118.75 for the American Indian Solar Culture NASC Inc. project. This is per the recommendation of the Town of Wawarsing Planning Board.
So move.
Second.
Cassie,
So moved.
Cassie makes the motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approves to award the bid and authorizes the supervisor to execute notice of award and execute construction contract with J&J SAS Inc., Electric Inc. for electrical construction, Town of Wawarsing new highway garage and rehabilitation project in the amount of $885,000.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes a motion, Cassie seconds it, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion's carried. Number 16, town board approves to award the bid and authorizes the supervisor to execute the notice of award and execute construction contract with Darlin Associates, Inc. for general construction, Town of Wawarsing new highway garage and rehabilitation project in the amount of $7,950,000.
So moved.
Mike makes a motion.
Second.
Bill Brown seconds it. Bill Brown seconds it twice. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. 3 times. Number 17, town board approves to award the bid and authorizes the supervisor to execute the notice of award and execute construction contract with DJ Heating and Air Conditioning, Inc. for mechanical construction, Town of Wawarsing new highway garage and rehabilitation project in the amount of $698,000.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes the motion. Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Number 18, town board to award the bid and authorize the supervisor to execute notice of award and execute construction contract with Aero Plumbing and Heating, Inc. for plumbing construction, Town of Wawarsing new highway garage and rehabilitation project in the amount of $629,200.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes the motion, and Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Number 19. Town Board authorizes the supervisor to execute a construction agreement and construction observation services agreement for the Town of Wawarsing new highway garage and rehabilitation project with Delaware Engineering, DPC, in the estimated amount of $540,000.
So moved.
Mike makes the motion.
second,
Bill Brown seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
I got
Do we
one.
have one? Cassie has one.
I do.
Okay, make that motion.
Town board to approve the pay scale for summer employees with an 80-cent increase for new and a 25-cent increase for returners for the 2023 camp season.
I'll second it.
so moved.
Cassie makes the motion and Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Okay, nothing else, correct?
That's it.
All right, Mr. Pays,
I'm
what are you guys doing lately?
cutting trees,
A lot of trees.
a lot of trees. I got some pictures I'm bringing the next meeting where they cut the trees down up in the cemetery by the veterans thing. I want you guys to look at it. It was amazing. I thank them very much. They
By
took-
the American Legion?
Yeah, they took 3 big trees, even though the trees all had spun off one. They was up there for a day and a half, and they took them down.
That's next
Happy.
to the Steckler Park and the American Legion across
Yes.
the street. Okay.
We're working on the Burn Road, cutting trees. We're working up in Oak Ridge, so we get a big boat out. Okay? Other than that, we're doing good.
Yeah, you did a good job with the Lux Road, I believe it was.
Yeah, it looks great up there, Tony. It really does.
Yeah. We had a meeting on Monday for the new truck we're gonna send out for cleaning the roads. We had 4 people gonna be running it at the present time. We're gonna have 2 at a time because it's
And how does it-
computerized
In what process is it gonna clean it?
and sweeping all the roads.
Okay.
Vacuum, everything. I got 2 guys that run it last year and I got 2
That's
other
a lot
guys.
of roads. About 180 miles of roads.
We're gonna be up in the back roads with a pole sweeper right soon. And, other than that,
I notice you're patching potholes too.
oh yes. The other thing is Lippman Park, I got 2 prices on the seal coat.
For the
I'm waiting for the
court?
third
For
one,
the pickleball court?
for the pickleball court. I think sometime this week we're gonna put the blacktop in. And then we're gonna have them guys come and do their thing after you guys have paid the prices.
All right, we can probably do that Wednesday.
All right?
The pickleball court is the old paddleball court at Lippman Park. So that deteriorated to the point where it had a point where it had to be taken down a number of years ago. And it's, right now, the area where the wood, the panels has to be cleaned out, paved over, and then it's gonna be
Paved in.
paved in, and one part of the fence going in has to be removed, and then there'll probably be 3 pickleball courts on that space. Regulation pickleball courts, regulation sets to play with. Pat and Terry Paddock of Accord have come down and helped out a lot because they're avid players and organizers of this game, and as we can get into this at a later date, but actually the day that Bill Brown and I went down there, the ambassador to the Hudson Valley Pickleball Association was assigned to go there, but she couldn't make it that day. So it's kind of interesting that they have a Mid-Hudson Pickleball Association ambassador, so it only speaks to the topic of that's becoming a pretty popular sport. It's a kind of in between tennis and paddleball, and it has like a wiffle ball, the ball, and then it has a paddle, which is a wooden paddle, not a tennis paddle. So it's a pretty exciting game. We had it down at the Hop Along Easter event at Lippman Park last week. There were 3 was it 3 or 2? 2? You had 2 sets of the game, right? For that day, I'm sorry? Oh, that was cornhole. Okay, yeah, I got you. But there will be 3 pickleball. There will be 3 pickleball courts, and it's we thank Tony and the highway guys for doing this, and then, because it really helps out as far as, actually having to do it with outside companies coming in. It's something that's doable, it can be done in over a quick period of time, and that's good. Yes.
The other thing is down Lippman Park, there's 2 dead trees down the lower end. We can't get to them right now because the ground's too soft. They will be coming down.
Okay. Then we were discussing also, maybe Bill Brown can talk about it for a second, or we were down there and we were talking about, maybe having some fencing at the lower end of the park.
I think the whole lower end should have some kind of a fence there,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, over there by the apartment houses.
Yes.
Right, some sort of privacy fence, just to improve the look of the area and stuff like that. We'd like to possibly we don't own the property next to that outside of the park, but it would be nice if they cleaned it up as a little more than they have been. And actually, Mike Cedar, our maintenance guy, and I went down there. And we looked along 209 a number of years ago. The summer crew, actually that Tony works with, actually worked on the painting that down there. And actually, John Davis from the welder at the highway garage actually did a good job with the gate down there.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get not reinvent that, but get back to rehabilitating that wall and that area down at the lower end of the park.
Especially by the apartments.
Yeah, especially down by those apartments, correct. All right,
I'm good.
thank you, Tony. Mr. Brown,
Special thank you to Tony and his crew and the water department and the transfer station people and Mike Cedar for bringing water to the transfer station and his bathroom that's usable. A successful event, another successful event by the Sari Recreation Department. Thank you to them. We had a meeting again with Superintendent Wiles and Assistant Superintendent Napoli at the school regarding the school usage for the Recreation Department. And that was a very positive meeting. 17th of April, we have a meeting scheduled with everyone regarding the pool, down at the pool area to make sure that we're in good shape when it's time to open the pool and there's no delays. What else? Pickleball court, you already addressed. That's going to be a nice feature at Lippman Park. And that seems to be the sport that's up and coming nowadays. And other than that, that's about it. Weather's beautiful in Virginia Beach.
I feel bad for you, Bill.
I got terrible sunburn.
Enjoy. Next.
You're not going to get any sympathy from us.
yeah. All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. Cassie.
Yes. As Bill mentioned, we had a very successful spring fling event at Lippman Park this past Sunday. We had roughly 200 kids there. I thought 6,000 eggs was an obscene amount of eggs, but between the soccer field and the up around the pond, those kids cleared all those eggs picked up in about 7 minutes. I was just floored at how good they were at picking it up, and they all had such a good time.
And the 6,000 is a real number.
Yes, it's a real number. And the rabbit was the bunny was a big hit. They liked getting their pictures taken with him. A big shout out to Nasari for getting us an Easter bunny. And the weather held, and that was fantastic. Camp will be starting. She'll be calling different people who've applied for to get a job at camp. Interviews will be starting soon. So be on the lookout for either an email or a phone call from Nasari in the next week or so. We are going to be hosting a spring photo contest. I'll be getting the details out to everybody, but we're asking the public to submit a photo of nature that says spring to them, that's somewhere in the town of Wawarsing. We don't want any people in them. You submit, we'll put up a form like we do at Christmas time, and you'll submit your photo. Your photo becomes the property of the town, and we will put them in a slideshow, and they'll go up on Channel 23. But one lucky person will, for 30 days, have their photo on our webpage and on the Facebook page at the top for 30 days. As first prize winners get that. So I'll get the details out, and I think it'll be fun. And then if we get a good response and people are excited about taking pictures of the beauty in the town of Wawarsing, maybe we'll do another one in the fall. Wawarsing Water District, because spring has sprung, a lot of the contractors are going out and they're reseeding lawns, and they're looking at what kind of shrubbery needs to be replaced. And when the asphalt plants open up, anybody who had like sidewalks or parking lots that had to be disrupted in order to do their connections, they will be starting, you'll see them come back and they'll do the repairs. And we're excited about that. And on April 21st, between 1 and 3 p.m. at the Napanock Senior Center, there's going to be a Town of Wawarsing Senior Citizen Roundtable. I'm gathering as many levels of elected representatives as I can to be there. The seniors in our community are struggling, as are all of us, but they've been hit by inflation, and there's a lot of food insecurity. They're struggling covering their medications. And so I thought it'd be a good time for our elected representatives to come to the town of Wawarsing and listen to the senior citizens and hear what they need from them. So people from the Napanock Senior Center came to me and said, could I organize this? And I said, sure, no problem. I'm waiting to hear back. I'll let everybody know which representatives are going to be there. I'm going to be there. And Craig Lopez is also RSVP'd, and so is John Gaveras. I'm waiting to hear from Jen Metzger, Peter Oberock, and Brian Marr. And I am also waiting to hear from the governor's office. I've sent them all invitations to this, and I'm hoping I hope we get representatives from all levels of government, because I think our seniors are getting impacted quite severely by inflation. So that'll be April 21st from 1 to 3. And I think I want to take this opportunity to thank the people of the town of Wawarsing that went through the effort to gather signatures because while they were gathering their signatures, we were looking at our budget and trying to decide whether we could do this project well, and we can. And because we had to take that pause and really look hard at this, I think it's going to be to the betterment of the whole project. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to take a pause and look at our budget. And I think this project's going to be amazing. And that's all I have tonight.
And next will be Paul.
Okay, so Saturday, the weather was horrible, but we still had our spring cleanup day on Saturday at the transfer station. And I want to have a big shout out, thank you to Mary, Sean, and Tommy, the folks that work at the transfer station. It was pretty amazing. Also, a special shout out to Judge Charlie Deshawn too. We were soaking wet like drowned rats, and Charlie brought us coffee and donuts about halfway through it, and it was really appreciated. So thank you on that, Charlie. A couple of the details and facts on that cleanup day: 172 residents took advantage of the cleanup day. We had 187 tires brought to the transfer station, which would have cost people somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,100 if they had brought them at other times. We had 30 air conditioning units that were brought to the transfer station as well, and that was around $950. And then there was countless bags of garbage and other material that would have all totaled out to around $3,800 worth of material. So that went from 7 in the morning till 11 in the morning, and I can tell you that a lot of people took advantage of it. I think it was extremely successful, even though the weather wasn't very nice. It was a good day to get rid of garbage and do your spring cleanup. And again, one other thank you to Ulster County Resource Recovery.
Those folks were amazing. We could not have done this day Saturday without their help. They brought extra bins on Friday. They did 4 pickups during that 7 in the morning till 11 in the morning time frame. So that as we filled bins up with garbage and other materials, we had another bin ready for us so that we can do the recyclables, the garbage, and the other materials. So it was a real team effort on a lot of people's part, and I think the residents really appreciate it. And I think we're going to try to look into maybe doing something like this in the fall as well. And that's what I've got for today.
Mike?
Okay. As far as emergency services go, there's still a big need for volunteers for fire and for rescue ambulance services. I want to touch on a major point right now. There is a burn ban still in effect until May 15th. We have been notified that we are at a very, very high risk for brush fires in the next 48 hours due to the humidity levels. Every time we get this massive warning, we end up with a pretty large brush fire because of somebody's negligence. I can tell you right now that the DEC has already written some pretty large fines in our area. People that haven't heeded to the warning. Your minimum fine starts at about $500 and can go into the tens of thousands. You burn somebody's house down because of your negligence, it can be even higher than that. So please be mindful. There's no open burning. Just hold out till at least the burn ban is over, when things can get a little more wet in this area, because we are very, very dry. I can't begin to express the amount of stress that's on anybody that's fighting a brush fire. You're climbing terrain that's not groomed. You're stepping over rocks and trees. You're raking constantly. You can be out there for hours, and it's very, very stressful. There's no need for us to have to go through that if we just please follow that rule. As far as the building department goes, we said last meeting we hired an individual by the name of TJ Brawley. He comes to us with experience from Monticello and Fallsburg. Another body in that department is what was really needed. But we are coming into our extreme busy season right now, where permits come in 10 at a time, and it's still hard to keep up on them. I ask that the public please just work with us. It takes some time to get them entered, to get your building inspector out there to take a look. We are working as fast as we can. Again, we're expecting a lot of pretty large projects to come in, a lot of new homes coming in, so it's going to stress the department out, and we just need to let everybody know it can happen. We had a very preliminary, and I use the word preliminary with all capital letters, on the emergency shelter here about a week and a half ago. There were 4 of us that met. We spoke to the representatives from the Red Cross. There seems to be a little bit of a confusion on how emergencies work. Red Cross does not get involved unless it's a massive emergency, where they would come down and take over the emergency shelter and run it. As a local government between the village and town and the people that are on a committee, we can come up with a way to deem an emergency for something less. We only have enough in there for 16 people. It's not the most comfortable place. It is a shelter. You have a wide open area with some bunks, and there's really no privacy, so people are really not going to stay overnight there. But for the time being, until they get family members or they can get to a hotel, whatever it may be, that Red Cross can put them up into, it'll be available. Hoping very soon that the paperwork will be done as far as the committee, that we put everything together. Hopefully, knock on wood, twice we never have to use the place, because if we have to use it, that means we've had a disaster somewhere. As far as the assessor goes, there was a meeting that was supposed to be scheduled for this week, but everybody's schedule was a little messed up, so the assessor and the building inspectors are going to get together so we can try to work smoothly between what comes into the building department and what the assessor gets, to make sure that the paperwork is being submitted correctly so everybody's assessment is done correctly. And that's all I have for this evening.
Let's talk about TJ Brawley. Can we do that?
Sure we can.
Well,
I'll let you talk about it. You can have the spotlight.
no, you take it.
What do you want to know about him?
We have a new building inspector managing the building department. So now we have manager of the building department, and we have 2 full-time code enforcement officers and 2 clerks. So that's what we've been looking for a number of years. It's been very, very hard to get that type of individual hired in place, and it's, it's really needed, whether it's for the village or the town. I would hope that the village and the town, really works on their building departments to improve the quality of life in the town of Wawarsing. We have possibly the Neville coming with the Somerset Partners. You have Cresco is already here. We had a tour about 2 weeks ago. We went through a tour at 10 o'clock in the morning and then at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with two different groups, business people at 1 o'clock and the fire departments and the building departments and the fire, basically that was it in the morning, but they went through and walked through the tour. If you've ever been in the Hydro building or the Cora building, it's about 56,000 square feet, like a rectangular here. And then there was the drive-in area over there where they dropped off their trucks. Well, now probably half of that space this way towards the street is all individual rooms and a processing center for their product. It was very interesting to go. We'll be making some more tours down through that property as they're very community minded and they've reached out to the community in a lot of different ways. So that's a big deal. And again, the Medley project is something that we just passed 2 resolutions on tonight, which is a good step in the right direction. They have their the seeker, their EAF, they have the negative declaration, and now they have these, and so we're just waiting for them to purchase the property and work with their neighbors and with the community. So that's the rest of your story, right, Mike? Or no?
Yeah, that's the most recent story. Thanks, Derek.
Okay. But Mr. Brawley, we really appreciate his presence, his personality that he has.
Yep.
Is wonderful. I mean, building department's a very hard job to work in, working with the public when people have to conform to certain rules of zoning and procedures when they're building their homes or having a business or keeping their properties in the proper fashion that is respectful to everybody in the town. And I think he's doing real good.
Yep.
And he's, the ability to talk to somebody and really get, instead of having the questions and not, the answer is to really resolve the problem. Right? And that's where his mindset is. Somebody comes to him, somebody's talking to him, he'll make the conversation a successful conversation. So that's what I've seen so far.
And he's got years of experience as a building
Yeah.
contractor, so
Yeah.
he knows.
Yeah, as a building contractor experience, he had 12 years in the town of Thompson and the town of Fallsburg, another, how many years? A number of years?
Many years he said it was.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. And again, when, Mike and I, since Mike came on the town board, we're trying to present a look out to the public where if we have told our employees, which they do a good job, but to reinforce, somebody calling up or somebody emailing or somebody knocking on the door or somebody calling up, to use the approach of, how can we help you? So that in how can we get to a resolve in what your issue is, and that's all they can, all the residents can ask for, I guess, and but we're appreciative of that. So is that all, Mike? You have anything else?
Terry.
Okay. So I think Bill was talking a little bit about the school. We had a superintendent wellness day. Superintendent Wiles had that. And Nasari, the new recreation director, came with me and Bill Brown, and we had a class of about 28 people there, right, Nasari? And we talked a little bit, and then we had questions and answers for what their concerns were, their staff members at the school. And I think that was a nice day to discuss.
Yeah, it was a round table discussion.
Yeah,
That's some good ideas.
Yeah, as a round table, and that's a very good use of a day. And as it turns out, Nasari and Bill and I discussed how we're going to keep the program that we've had going during the summer months, but also to have a more full, in-depth, year-round program and include an adult component to it. We've really never done that before. Sorry, what were we talking about? Having some kind of seniors. What was it called?
Like adopt the senior.
No, no, an event.
Prom?
Senior prom.
Yeah,
senior prom.
the senior prom, yes. Get some seniors in the community and, have an event for them and it's a really nice way to bring, to keep people active and out of their houses and into the community. And we thank, Bill and Nasari and some of the ideas that we have for the program. So, anyway, I guess we made some comments or resolutions tonight about the highway garage, but basically there's not much, there's a little bit to say, but the existing highway building was built in 1972. That's 51 years ago. The materials to build that building were not meant to be operational for 50 years. No matter what the issue was, the way that was built, it's outdated itself as far as size and all that. This town board has taken the responsibility and necessary steps to protect and preserve millions of dollars of highway department assets, which are all necessary to maintain 180 miles of town roads. Everybody drives on the town roads every single day. Town board will be fiscally diligent throughout this project to complete the project accordingly. Just some comments over the last number of years. This town board and previous town boards in the last 5 or 6 years have, I don't know the exact number, but probably at 1% in the last 5 years of a tax levy increase. So that's a total, and that is not specifically the exact number, but it's got to be around 1%. As almost all the other years were 0 increases. So we are fiscally responsible. During those years, the town relined the Cohonson water lines. It hadn't been done in 50 years. The project was an $8 million project. Only 2 of it was loaned. 6 of it was a grant. Long time coming, for a long time. It started probably in 2012. The New York City DEP's aqueduct was leaking, and it took quite a while to get to the point where we actually had Paul Rush and the DEP's ear, and they come to the conclusion of we had to do that project, and they promised us $20 million in 2018. When Steve Bradley and I talked to Paul Rush and Bill Richardson and Judith Clark. Well, right now the number's at about $21.5 million. So we're going to be finished this year, sometime this summer.
Substantial completion is scheduled for June 30th.
Okay, so that's the substantial date for completion. But then the DEP has to shut down their aqueduct, right?
Yep, a little at a time.
Right. So, again, that's a $21.5 million project, and it's probably going to be a little more. And none of that is paid by the Town of Wawarsing residents out of the town budget. The New York State Department of Corrections is completing a $10 million sewer upgrade that benefits all of the Nabanac residents, not just the prisons. Everybody in that sewer district in Nabanac is benefiting from a $10 million upgrade. The town this past year, in December, I believe it was an $874,000 sewer grant for the Carlo Drive sewer district in Cohonson. So that basically is about $40 million worth of grants. And out of that, it was about $2 million, which were loans. So we're really working hard for everybody in the community, and we're just laying out what we're doing. And we appreciate the cooperation of everybody included. So at that juncture, I'd like to make a motion, have somebody make a motion.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Mike makes the motion. Bill Brown from Virginia Beach. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks.